Now at 5 a.m., this is WKYT This Morning. We are tracking the path of Hurricane Matthew right now. Millions of people here in the United States are bracing for impact. We'll have the very latest on the hurricane. It's just ahead.
Plus some scary moments on a plane at Louisville's airport. A smoking phone forced everyone on the plane to evacuate. That story just ahead.
And a Lexington boy hurt in a shooting now has a much-needed service dog. It's changing things for him. That story and your Kentucky forecast, all coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It is so good to have you with us here on WKYT This Morning. I'm Andrea Walker.
I'm Bill Bryant, and this is where Kentucky mornings start. It's Thursday, October 6th. We're rolling toward the weekend, and that hurricane is rolling toward the United States.
It sure is. I know. And it's something we are keeping an eye on for sure. But here in Kentucky, we're kind of having beautiful weather. It's hard to enjoy it a little bit.
Opening day at Keeneland tomorrow, right? Because you have to constantly think about folks in harm's way. So let's check in with Micah right now. He's busy in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, getting you updated on Matthew real quick. We're looking at that heading toward the Bahamas. Here's Nassau, here's the Bahamas, the actual Bahamas, and that slides toward the northern section of Bahamas here in just about, I would say, 3 to 5 hours it'll arrive there because it's moving very slowly. It's only moving about 10 miles per hour, but it's still a Category 3, 125 miles per hour. It's having no effect on us right now, and I don't expect it to affect us later on this weekend either. We're in the 50s and 60s, 54 now in Laurel County. That's a little chilly down south. Above average temperatures, though, as we travel off through your afternoon at 82. Still can't rule out a sprinkle, but for the most part, we stay dry just like the past few days. But we are tracking Matthew and that cold front there for the weekend. How low do our temperatures drop? That's the key. I'll have that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, and we'll see you shortly. And we're continuing to track Hurricane Matthew this morning. This is a live look at the Defender radar network that you see behind us right now, depicting where the storm is and where it is moving right now. The Bahamas is what we're looking at right here on the screen.
And of course, millions of people along the southeastern coast here in the United States are also bracing for impact. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at the alert desk with the latest details.
Yeah, guys, all eyes are on Hurricane Matthew as the storm is expecting to hit the United States tonight. Now, millions of people are preparing for Matthew. 4 states are under a state of emergency, and 2 million people have been asked to evacuate from the southeast coast. The mandatory evacuations are the largest since Hurricane Sandy struck the East Coast from North Carolina to New York in 2012. President Obama said if the core of Matthew strikes Florida, it could have a devastating effect. Now people are traveling to find a safe place, stocking up on supplies, and heading to gas stations to fill up.
I've driven around looking for gas, and their gas stations haven't had any gas.
Now you can see just how dangerous Matthew is. Here's video of the devastation the hurricane left behind in Haiti. Matthew is being blamed for at least 25 deaths in the Caribbean. Now the American Red Cross is sending a team from Kentucky to parts of the southeast. They'll prepare shelters and help with other relief efforts. Now we'll be keeping you up to date throughout the morning here on WKYT on Hurricane Matthew. Guys, back to you.
Okay, a lot to watch with it. Thank you.
And here in Kentucky, some people are changing travel plans to the southeast because of that hurricane.
Yeah, flight to and from Fort Lauderdale from Lexington was canceled this morning. WKYT's Lauren Miner is live at Bluegrass Airport now with some of those changing travel plans. Lauren, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Well, as you just said, a lot of Kentucky travelers this morning are changing their plans to the East Coast because of the hurricane. Now, like you just said, a flight from Fort Lauderdale to and from Lexington is canceled this morning. AAA advises travelers to do their research if they plan to travel in the next few days. The American Red Cross is sending a team from parts of Kentucky to parts of the southeast. Now, according to the Courier Journal, 4 Red Cross workers from Louisville and 1 from Lexington will head to the Carolinas or Florida. They'll prepare shelters and help the others relief efforts. Reporting live in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Lauren, thank you very much. And cleanup is already starting on some of the islands in the Caribbean already hit by that storm.
At least 25 people have died because of the hurricane. The United Nations has called Matthew the worst humanitarian crisis to hit Haiti since the destructive earthquake in 2010. And as relief efforts began, some Kentucky missionaries on assignment in Haiti are gearing up to do their part.
The villagers there told them not to worry about anything, that they would take care of them.
Before the hurricane, the group had been helping to build church and school benches and leading a vacation Bible school. They're scheduled to fly through Florida on Friday, tomorrow, just as the hurricane is expected to pass through the region. They're already planning another trip back to the island soon. Some scary moments, and not related to the weather, but involving something else, these phones that have problems. A Southwest Airlines plane over in Louisville where a man says his replacement Samsung Galaxy Note 7 phone forced the plane to be evacuated.
Brian Green says seconds after he powered down his phone, it started smoking in his pocket. Now, as a precaution, the plane was evacuated. Thankfully, no one was injured and the phone did not explode or catch fire. Green says he had the original Galaxy Note 7, but he took it back after the store recalled it because of explosions and fires. He said he received the replacement phone, which Samsung claimed would be much safer just a few weeks ago.
I'd never powered the phone down. This was the first time I'd powered it down. Went to the movies the other day and I just muted it, of course, but I hadn't powered it down. So I did everything I was supposed to.
The plane was still at the gate when the phone started smoking. The flight to Baltimore was canceled.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are gearing up for their second presidential debate. The next matchup will be a town hall style event that will be in St. Louis. The Democratic nominee Clinton is preparing away from the campaign trail today. Meanwhile, Republican nominee Donald Trump is holding a small town hall meeting in New Hampshire. Trump's campaign is looking to rebound in the debate this Sunday. Well, much more on the campaign coming up. A report at 5:30 here on WKYT. Investigators now claim a contractor for the National Security Agency stole government secrets. Harold Martin III was arrested last month. They say he admitted stealing classified computer codes that he knew were top secret. Investigators say some of the NSA's highly sensitive secrets about its cyber tools ended up online because of the theft. Martin's wife, though, says she supports him.
I am standing by my husband, that I love him very much, and you know, he's a good man.
Inside Martin's home, investigators say they found hard copy documents and digital information from the NSA stored on multiple devices. If convicted, he could receive more than 10 years in prison.
Police say they still don't know what caused the death of a Central Kentucky woman. It's been days since police found the body of 22-year-old Desiree Sparks. She'd been reported missing from Danville before being found dead in Lincoln County. Kentucky State Police are now hoping surveillance video will help their investigation. They say they're looking for a specific vehicle in this case. State Police say they've learned there may have been a man in a dark-colored Jeep, Liberty, or Patriot.
Basically trying to build a timeline if we can identify that she was in that vehicle. Basically helping the detective follow up on leads on information that he's received.
Sparks' cause of death has not been released. There was an autopsy performed Sunday, but state police say how she died is still under investigation.
Time now 5:08 on WKYT this morning. A man accused of assaulting a Laurel County Sheriff's deputy is now in custody. State police say they arrested Tony Burks during a traffic stop on I-75 in Whitley County. When they arrested him, they say Burks had meth, marijuana, and 4 fake $50 bills. Last weekend, police say Burks hit a Laurel County deputy who tried to arrest him and got away. Burks is now facing multiple charges this morning, including assault and some drug offenses.
New this morning, the Kentucky Board of Education has agreed to study the concept of public charter schools. The decision came during the board's meeting in Frankfort yesterday. Kentucky is one of 7 states that do not have legislation allowing charter schools. The board will study charter schools during a special meeting next month. Outside organizations run charter schools, but they are publicly funded and open to any student. And the first thing they have to decide what is a charter school within the laws of Kentucky. So we'll see where that goes. A lot of push for that. A Lexington boy injured in a shooting more than a year ago now has a much-needed service dog. Great story here. Antonio Reese is now 11 years old. His family says he had multiple surgeries after getting shot while riding in his family's SUV. The family says Antonio needed a service dog to help in his recovery. People in the community helped raise the $22,000 needed for the family to get that dog, who they have named Alice. The family says the dog is trained to sense when something is wrong with Antonio and then alert them.
She helps me for seizures and a lot of stuff.
Alice gives me that sense of security, knowing that she's going to bring him to me. They're going to be together. They're sidekicks. Everyone's going to know Antonio and Alice.
The family wants to start a nonprofit organization that helps raise money for other families who also need service dogs.
Well, they look like a dynamic duo, don't they?
They do. Antonio and Alice.
Yeah, meant for each other. WKYT this morning, just getting started on your Thursday. So good to have you along, and so much more coming right up.
Still ahead, new safety technology that could prevent speeding trains from crashing is coming to some Minnesota rail lines. That story in about 10 minutes.
Plus, one major NFL stadium is employing a team of drones to help with the cell service there. Interesting story. We'll find out more after Micah's forecast.
We had Hurricane Matthew over the Bahamas. It's tracking up toward Florida. I'm going to show you when it arrives in Florida. Also talk about how that's going to affect our cold front now. What's the data showing? I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We have the 50s down south, 60s central and northern zones, and it's just going to be another nice start to the day, just like we've had the past few days. There's really not much change there in the forecast. Let's go over what we're experiencing later on this afternoon. So kids going off to school, no problem. Them coming home, I don't see any issues. 82 degrees, that's pretty much where we have been the past few days. We actually hit 82 officially here in Lexington yesterday and the day before. We were in the upper 70s the day before that. So it just shows you that it's getting warmer and warmer, but also it's kind of just hovering right around that 82 degree reading. Some spots have been a little bit warmer than that. Mixture of sun and clouds. You got to remember this time of year, we're in the lower 70s, so this is well above average. Let's talk about Matthew and show you the updated forecast now. You go about 24 hours out. This is 24 hours out from the first or the initial model run of this hurricane. And Friday, really night into the morning hours of Friday. So tonight into the morning hours of Friday, it looks like it could possibly make landfall, or it'll actually ride up the I-95 corridor. We'll see, but that cone still puts it, the probability of making it landfall is pretty high. So we'll actually watch that very closely and see how that works out. But still, whether it makes landfall or whether it skirts up right along the coast, it doesn't matter. I mean, you're talking about some really, really strong winds, 130 mile per hour winds there at the center. So you go out of the center just 20 miles, you're still talking about 100, 115 mile per hour winds. So it's really going to cause some problems there across Florida here in the next 24 to 48 hours. 48 hours out, going to Saturday morning, still a Category 2 there near Jacksonville. And here's some good news I really want to point out. As you work your way towards Saturday into Sunday, yesterday this cone was more inland than where it is now. And now we're looking at it just kind of skirting across the Outer Banks there. I mean, we were talking about staying out in the ocean just a little bit farther out. As we can get it as far as out as possible, it's looking pretty good there in the forecast in terms of the way it looked just the past 24 to 48 hours ago for Myrtle Beach, Charleston. You have some family down in South Carolina or North Carolina. North Carolina will win out of this one because it's still curving big time. And watch what happens 120 hours out. Look at this. We talked about this yesterday. I was telling you that new data was coming in showing you that this may loop around. Check that out. That's a weird storm right there. Could loop around, go back through the Bahamas, and maybe even contact Florida twice. It's going to be a weird storm. It's going to be very interesting to watch. How's that going to affect our weather? Well, it's not really going to affect it that much. We're staying in the 60s there for the weekend because the front is moving through and it will blast through some colder air. You'll really feel it there for the weekend. And only a small chance of showers, and mainly for eastern Kentucky, guys. So for the most part, Keeneland looks good. Got Barktoberfest going on here in Lexington. This should be fun with all the pets and the animals and all that. So
Barktoberfest.
Yeah, Barktoberfest. I kind of like that. So all in all, I really don't see a good chance of rain whatsoever. It's more about the temperatures. You'll feel the difference.
All right.
No doubt about that.
Looks good here.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it, Mike. It's coming up on 5:17 this morning.
AT&T Stadium is home to the Dallas Cowboys and some pretty big advances in stadium technology.
The stadium has a giant $40 million video board right in the center of the stadium, but now the stadium is shifting some focus to cell phones. The stadium is using a team of drones to find strong and weak cell phone signals, and then stadium leaders can make changes and upgrades. They say it's all about giving fans a much better experience.
Oh, well, you
go.
got to be able to put that stuff on Facebook and Twitter and everything.
Right, be social while you're there.
Right.
Because nobody's going to pay attention to the ball game.
I
Right?
know. Oh, well.
There you go. All right.
You know what's important.
Yeah. Rolling toward 5:18 now on WKYT this morning. So good to have you with us, and so much more news on the way.
When we come back, we'll take a look at your money.
Good morning and welcome back in. WKYT this morning. We're live from Lexington at 5:21 on your Thursday. Some railway passengers in the northern part of the country are getting some new safety measures.
And one major retailer is making some big changes by going small. Kenneth Craig has the latest on your money.
New safety technology that could prevent speeding trains from crashing is coming to some Minnesota rail lines. Positive train control could stop a collision or derailment because of excessive speed. The St. Cloud Times first reported the developments. Federal safety regulators are looking to see if the lack of an automatic braking system contributed to last week's deadly rail crash in New Jersey. Stocks gained on Wednesday. The Dow finished up 112 points. The Nasdaq gained 26. Some of the same workers calling for higher wages for McDonald's employees have filed claims of sexual harassment against the fast food giant. Those 15 workers are part of the Fight for $15 campaign who have been pushing for higher pay and a union. McDonald's says it's reviewing the allegations. Target is breaking out of its box store mold. The retailer opened its first small store in New York City Wednesday. It's just 1/3 the size of its regular stores. It's part of a larger plan to open dozens of smaller locations around the country in urban markets and college towns. That's your Money Watch report. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Kenneth Craig.
We got a trio of 54 degrees down south into Monticello, Somerset, and London. I'm WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris. We're at 57 now in Boyle County. Go off toward Lexington, work your way into Lawrenceburg, my friends there. Anderson County, all the way east. Head off into Breathitt, Perry, and then work your way up 460 Morgan and Menifee. All looks well. We head towards your afternoon. Look for temperatures right around 82 degrees once again today and staying dry. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Wednesday afternoon, a Kentucky coaching legend passed away. Bobby Keith, who led Clay County to the Sweet 16 more times than any other coach. He died at the age of 75. Keith led the Tigers to the state tournament a record 18 times. Was an amazing 18-1 in regional championships. Clay County won the 1987 Sweet 16 title, and the Tigers had runner-up finishes in 1985 and then again in 1988. Keith spent 29 seasons with Clay County, putting together a record of 767 and 125, 5 times honored as the Kentucky High School Coach of the Year.
By anybody's standards, is one of the greatest coaches in high school basketball history in Kentucky. You know, he won 86% of his games in 29 years, averaged fewer than 5 losses a year, which is incredible.
If I had a one-game situation for my life, if I had to pick a person to coach it, you know, he certainly would be one of those people that I would call and say, Coach, you know, this is for all the marbles, and you know, he would just be absolutely great, and I wouldn't have any qualms about what the result would be.
Bobby Keith, a great friend and coaching legend, gone at age 75. De'Aaron Fox, the next in a long line of point guards to play for John Calipari, coming into Kentucky. He knows he'll be compared to Tyler Eulis. Fox is a lot bigger, though. He's 6'4". He has to work on his jump shot, but he thinks there are a lot of similarities.
We have a lot of similarities. Being able to control the game, both fast. Defensively, we're both get after it. We're both going to get under guards, and we're going to have to turn them. But I mean, I think I'm more athletic, better rebounder, just because my size, and then we both have the speed to do whatever.
And according to the Herald Leader, the UK women's team has picked up a commitment from a junior college shooting guard. Amanda Pascal won a junior college national championship at Gulf Coast State College in Florida. She averaged about 11 points and 4 rebounds per game last season. That is a look at sports. Have a great day.